Hello and welcome to my channel Dark Matrix. My name is Tina and today I'm gonna talk about something quite unusual, about old masters' paintings. I've been studying it for a while and I've noticed one theme, that the paintings of the past, the very first classics of paintings, represent lots of religious scenes. I've noticed this theme, that those masters that were painting, they were kind of like come across to me like they were obsessed with religion, that there was hardly anything else like painted, and that drew my attention to that there's a reason for it, why they were painting a majority of those pieces of arts portraying religion. I'm talking here specifically about Catholic religion, like Jesus and Mary, that all masters were painting over and over and over. What happens today? We have technology, we have obviously other means of receiving news, receiving messages, and back then there was nothing much. There wasn't even photography like 1,000 years ago or 500-600 years ago. So obviously paintings were means of portraying certain ideas to the public, to the masses, and they were quite powerful. And my impression is that those masters were basically paid by church to do these works of art, and therefore to spread certain messages through what was being painted at the time. There's no doubt that those paintings were very beautiful, and the majority of them are very serene and very nice to look at, really. Of course, there's an element of quite dark undertones of colors, and there's creepiness about them as well. But anyway, I would like to talk about what was actually presented on those paintings. What was behind this beauty and serenity? Why was that painted? There is one specific painting that caught my eye, and I've got a cutting of this painting in here. I would like to show you guys. You see this one. This is very beautiful, painted on oil, that was done in 1525, and that was done by Jacopo Pontormo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it well, but he was an Italian artist. And this painting, I found it quite disturbing. As you can see, guys, what's in it. There's obviously Jesus with his apostles sitting at the table, and above Jesus there's this triangle with an eye right in the middle, which is, the eye is a symbolism, obviously. And this particular, what is representing here? Well, the presence of God, obviously, it's been said that it represents the all-watching eye, that it's kind of like the Christ is connecting with that power. Some say it's all one because it's supposed to be a God, really. Yeah, God, and then a God sitting here in the flesh, and then there is a God symbolic with the triangle. Well, this particular painting, it's like it's been done. I mean, this symbol has been used by Illuminati, and it's also on every dollar bill today. Like we see the pyramid, and above that pyramid, this triangle with this all-seeing eye. Um, I got kind of disturbing thoughts about it, because that reminds me of like a big brother almost, that somebody's watching you. It's like somebody's watching, almost spying, almost like controlling you in certain way. Makes me feel a little bit uneasy. Why is that symbol? And also it's surrounded by light, obviously, on that painting. And the light is always very common theme on other religious paintings. I've noticed this theme, like there's always Jesus and Mary usually painted, and there's like a light just above, and they're all pointing to it, all pointing, and of course Jesus is pointing with these two fingers appearing on many paintings. Well, this supposedly be representing the duality of the nature of Christ, like his divine part plus the fleshy part, the human part. So this is what it's being interpreted. But I see it slightly different, because something tells me that it may be not so. I mean, people are guessing and assuming that what it's representing, but is it really? I mean, maybe it's just painted, look there, pointing, not with one finger, but with two. So almost like it's very important, look at the light, look at the light. And what I'm recently looking at in all the spirituality, obviously religion is part of spirituality, that there's lots of things that's starting to form like a one big truth that I can see, and this truth is quite disturbing, because looking at what light represents, like for example what happens to when people experiencing NDE, like near-death experience, when they meet light, the light kind of is luring them into that sort of presence of, again, this divine looking beings. And in many cases some people like even share this information that they were not really divine, they were just beings of light of some sort. The faces are like beaming with light, distorted with light, you can't even see what's behind it. So that is quite disturbing. Everything is about the light. Everybody says, oh, the light, the light, the light. I mean, I'm not sure about the light, really. So what am I seeing in these old masters' paintings with the religion theme? There's always light, there's always some angels, there's always demons as well, somewhere between that scenario, like all together, really. What is going on, really? I mean, I love art. I paint myself as well, and I like examining other people's pieces of art as well. But what I'm talking about here, about the old masters' paintings, I begin to see this theme, and that is quite disturbing, rather, because behind this old beauty, I mean, what would be the best way to spread something like 1,000 years ago or so, 500 years ago? Through paintings, obviously. Paintings were very powerful back then, because that was probably the only mean of something that people could look at and connect with. Oh, look at this, look at that, look at all these paintings. That's why when you go to church, there's lots of paintings, old paintings in churches, because people didn't have anywhere else to look at those images. And images are very powerful, because images, especially those old masters' paintings, are full of symbols as well. There's lots of like sacrifices almost going on, like the lamb and the slaughter of the lamb, the cries, the drinking the blood, and all that. This is disturbing too, I'm sorry. And also the like the shepherd. Jesus is the shepherd. I mean, what the shepherds do looks after the sheep. And what do we see here today regarding sheep? Sheep it's a symbol of symbolizing the masses of people who follow somebody else's idea, almost like they don't have their own mind to think and their own critical mind. And this kind of people, I'm sorry, but they don't ever question anything. They just follow. And they are happy with whatever they receive from that source that they follow. And this is where everything is like a circle, that it's all closed up, and some people don't even know what they're following. I mean, majority of people, I mean, I've spoken to some people like Catholics, they go to church, and I said, but have you even read the Bible? And majority, they don't read Bibles. Very few read. They don't know nothing except what they hear in church through ceremonies, when the priest is providing this mass, and they talk about certain things during the mass. So this is basically the all information they have. So basically, they can say anything they want, anything they please to say, and people take it as the whole darn truth, really. So yes, it is really all connected, because the control of humanity, going back to those paintings now, going back really, really down the timeline, the control of humanity started very, very long time ago. It started from day one when this system was installed in this planet. And by all means, the church was at the time that was organized, was like a government. They were governing everybody's life. They were controlling everybody's life. I mean, there were communities like that were kind of very religious, and everybody had to be religious back those days, you know. If you didn't go to church, I mean, you could be really excommunicated by everybody, like, you know, oh, so-and-so doesn't go to church, you know. I mean, the authorities of the church had absolute powers back then. I'm talking about Middle Ages, and even a long time before that. That those were the governments, nobody could question them. They were authorities, they were higher authorities of everybody in here. And of course the masses didn't know how to read and write. Nobody had access to any books or anybody who could tell them the other side of that coin. So they had to believe only one side and listen to what being told to them. And yes, paintings were very powerful tool to spread propaganda, to spread certain theme, certain truths that church decided that they want people to know and to believe in. I mean, they're doing it even today, but obviously there's many alternatives in modern world. I mean, there's internet, there are books everywhere. You know, you can find alternative news and alternative information just about everything and anything. So it's all different. Yes. So this is quite I mean, I've been looking at those paintings, thinking, well, they represent something, and what's really behind it. Why people say that there's some sort of absolute power there and we have to uh, agree with it. Why? I mean, it's like you're looking at them, and every painting of this religious thing, this pointing to the light, it's almost like they don't want you to go within to seek the truth, but they want you to go outside and trust the outside external forces. And this is where the problem begins. Because if you um, start to trust outside forces, especially this kind of forces that we're talking about God, we're talking about entities that are not of this world, we know nothing about them. I'm sorry, we know absolutely nothing about them, except what little traces of information we put through, of assuming, maybe guessing. But I mean, all this so-called holy books and testaments and Bible has been written to control people with what they wrote in there. I mean, it's a story. There's many stories there, but those stories, in my opinion, they are just made-up stories. There's no verification. You cannot say, oh, this took place, that took place. They don't make sense, for one thing. Really don't make much sense whatsoever. And the reason I'm mentioning it here is because who really understands the whole Bible? How many more thousands or hundreds of years people go to this Bible study classes to understand all these writings, what is being written? It's impossible. I feel the whole text is so difficult to understand that it's been deliberately written in such a manner so people would have to guess, and there's lots of double meanings. So they could say, oh, no, you misunderstood. It's actually, this is what I meant when I wrote this, whoever, whatever, you know? And that is not honest. Because why wasn't it written, if it was the whole truth, why wasn't it written in an honest, simple manner so people could understand? Why mind bending this way and that way? Oh, this means this, that means that. Oh, come on, really? And also, the fact is that there's another aspect to it. The more popular something is, the more easily accessible, you should know that it hasn't got hardly any value. Bible as an information source has not much value to me, really. I mean, I can also write stories. I love writing. So, and I'm sure that many of you guys could also write. But my point is that those kind of writings are very easily accessible. And as you know, when something is scarce, it has more value. And the more noise about something, it's in your face. It's everywhere. Everybody's pushing this Jesus team, this God team, this Bible's teams, your religion. It's in your face. You're born into the system. You grew up in it, and basically that's all what majority of people know, because this is how they were programmed to believe that there's nothing outside those beliefs that were imposed on us, which is absolutely ridiculous, honestly, because I mean, it has to be questioned. All that has to be questioned. It's very sad that people do not question, because some do it out of fear. Oh, what would God think if I question his ways? Who am I, really? So you are nobody. You are basically nobody. And yet you're supposed to be, like God consciousness, within us. But you are nobody. You're not supposed to question, really. What about free will here? Where's that free will, and why do we have to kind of almost hide and be shy away from asking questions, just in case, we're going to be judged? I mean, really? yeah, we have to give questions why things happen. I mean, we are here, we are the ones that suffering, we are the ones that gonna go through death in here, and I think we got every right to know as much as possible, if not the whole truth, because I don't believe it's possible to find the whole truth in here. I mean, from what I managed to find out, even in astral reality, um, you, there's the people still studying and still trying to find out the truth. Nobody knows everything, and the ultimate truth, it's really really deeply hidden. That's why I'm saying, I'm pointing out to those things. Those are my observations. What I see, that something is not quite right, and I'm questioning all this. So if any of you guys know a little bit about maybe could you please comment on this? Um, because the more we share, the more we be able to find out about this very interesting subject. Um, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And please leave a comment on or like thumb up, and see you next time. Thank you again. Bye bye.